audience. Anyone here ride their bike to work? Okay, screw you people, and here's why. My dad is one of those guys. He's one of those guys that likes to ride his bike to work. And you guys actually probably know him. He's that asshole that makes you drive 10 miles an hour on your own street because he's riding down the center of it. And then when you try and go around him, he goes, "What? You need to share the road, sir." I am not a fan of bikers, and here's why. I'm not sure why people who ride bikes insist on letting you know about all the accomplishments that they've had recently. Like, yeah, I rode a 50-mile ride last weekend. Gonna do a 60-mile ride this weekend. It's all in prep for this 70-mile ride I'm trying to do soon. Like, thanks. That answers all the questions I didn't ask. I drove my car 20 miles, and I didn't make the room we're in smell like ball sweat, so don't hear me bragging about it. I think there's something about having the hobby of a 9-year-old that makes you brag like a 9-year-old. I rode my bike super far today, and I found a lizard. Wicked cool. I don't know. My dad and I, like, people who are really passionate about bikes don't seem to understand the perspective of people who don't give a shit about their stupid hobby. I can't even drive in a car with my dad anymore. I honestly can't, because I've been driving for 10 years, and to this day, if I ride in a car with him, he is insisting that I'm in the bike lane. First of all, like, what am I drunk? Like, who doesn't know they're riding in the bike lane? Is it really hard to tell you're in the bike, like, is there really someone driving in the bike lane confused going, well, this lane's getting real narrow now. This is preposterous. So we got into an argument, and I said, Dad, I know where the goddamn bike lane is. I'm driving on the road right now, I can see it. And he said, you know what, Ollie? If you ever run over a bike rider in your car, I'm gonna cut you out of my will. And I said, well, I guess I know which bike rider I need to run over then. Not a simplest solution to that problem. But that's my dad. My dad just likes to be super annoying. By the way, Dad, thanks so much for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. He's a good guy. So, my mom is a different situation. I wouldn't describe my mom as being annoying. It's more just the stuff that she does is just weird and doesn't make any sense sometimes. Like, so when I was a kid, my sister used to play on a traveling softball team. And basically what that meant is every weekend I got to go on a really shitty road trip to a place I didn't want to go to. And so, being a kid, it wasn't easy to get me to wake up on any day, let alone a weekend day where you're trying to wake me up to go on a road trip with my family. So my mom just got fed up with trying to wake me up most of the time. And so instead of waking me up, her solution was to wrap me up in the blanket that I was in like a taquito, and then put me in the back of the car, and I'd wake up like halfway to a city I didn't want to go to. It was basically like a really casual kidnapping. So one morning, my mom has that situation. She wraps me up in my blanket. She starts carrying me. She gets about halfway, and she goes, you know what, I forgot something. So does she, take me to the rest of the car? No. Does she take me back to the house? No. She just stood me up on my feet, still sleeping, wrapped in a blanket in the middle of the sidewalk, and then went in the house. And about 5 seconds later, I came to, very confused. And that's about the time that my sassy teenage sister came up to me and said, we're gonna be late, what are you doing? And I said, I honestly don't know what is going on right now. And then when my mom came out, she goes, oh, you're awake. I said, yeah. And she said, well, you better hurry up, we're gonna be late. I said, okay, can someone maybe bring me up to speed on what the fuck is going on right now? Because the last thing I remember, I went to bed in my bed like a person does. And now I'm standing in a blanket where I can't move, in my underwear, in the front yard, and you guys are talking to me like this is a normal situation. No, so situation in my life has ever been really normal, to be honest. I have so many weird stories. I didn't want any of them, and they just keep happening to me. I recently ran into one of my ex-girlfriends, and she introduced me to her current girlfriend. Nothing wrong with that. The only issue I had is that all three of us had the same haircut. So, besides the fact that I apparently look like a lesbian, the thing I was concerned about is I was like, okay, this has to be a coincidence, right? She's not trying to look like me. And I know that's a weird thing to think about somebody, but you need to understand the breakup with this girl was weird, and it was messy, okay? It didn't end well. She wouldn't accept it. She kept kind of just popping up in random areas of my life after that. She got a job at the place I had a job at, which is Trader Joe's. She started going to the same school as me, and I tried my best to avoid her. But to be honest, I mean, there wasn't any avoiding her. She knew my class schedule, and she would follow me around from class to class, singing Taylor Swift songs and sobbing like a psychopath. Just that everywhere we went, you belong with me. And you know what? That shit is impossible to avoid, and even more impossible to ignore, especially for everybody around us. I think eventually everyone at the school that we were at thought that we were just some kind of like weird artsy thespian group doing a street performance of some kind. Whatever it was not cool. I was not into it. So that was the first concern I had. The second concern, once she introduced me to her girlfriend, and I realized that we're basically three skinny white people with the same haircut, pretty much the same person, looks-wise, that was when I was like, whoa. Is this girl trying to look like me while having sex with a different version of me? And when I thought of it that way, I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of sweet. I mean, think about it. That's like someone saying, you know what, I don't even need anybody else in my sex fantasies. My sex fantasies star and co-star you. So, I'll leave you guys with this. I have a brief update to that last joke. Every once in a while, when I do performances on stage, I'll record it, and I'll put the recording onto Facebook later on. And when I did this joke, I intentionally deleted her as a friend before I posted the material because I don't want to hear that joke. About a year went by, and she always sends me a message on my birthday, even though we broke up a long time ago. I don't know why. She always sends me a message on my birthday. She sent me a message saying, "Hey, happy birthday. Why aren't we friends anymore?" And I said, I don't know. Because here's the thing, I forgot. So, I ended up adding her, and the next morning I woke up to these messages. She said, I didn't realize I followed you around at school singing Taylor Swift songs like a psychopath. I'm glad I'm the laughing stock of your life. I've never heard that before, but that's kind of an awesome expression. Then she said, I hope you know, I went to San Francisco State, that's where I went, because that was the only school around that offered a physical geography major, and that was my passion. I don't know, by the way, if there is an alternative to physical geography. Is there like a theoretical geography class? Like, hey dude, there could totally be a mountain over there. A river leading up to it, think about it. Just imagine this geography. She continued on to say, I applied to the Cupertino Trader Joe's before the Westgate one, and they didn't accept me. I didn't just follow in your footsteps in hopes of some shit. And then the last thing she said was, now I understand why you deleted me. And, to her credit, case in point, I totally did delete her because of that. But I was going to respond to her, and I decided, you know what, that's not the ending to this story. That's not the ending that should happen to this story. There's only one ending to this story, and it's happening right now. I'm recording the show that we're at this moment right now. And I plan to take this recording and post it on Facebook and send it to her. So if you guys can all help me with the very last part of this plan, and on the count of 3, say hi Eva with me. Her name is Eva. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hi!